As a boy in Regina, I remember the streetcars and the downtown police wearing the heavy buffalo skin coats. The home I was raised in had running water and a flush toilet, but many homes in the city still had an outhouse in the back of the yard. They were often the target of the Halloween pranksters. The outhouses had a giant pail in them that the city would come and replace every week or so. We called the truck carrying the pails the honey wagon. You never wanted to be behind that truck when you were driving down the road. In those days, many homes were heated with coal. Every fall my father would order a truckload of coal that would be dumped into a coal bin in the basement. Coal heating meant my father would need to get up in the middle of the night and add more coal. If he did not get up, we would wake up to a freezing cold house. I remember pulling my clothes under the blankets to warm them up before I got dressed under the covers. Most homes had an extra set of what they called storm windows that would need to be installed every fall. The school system was nothing like it is today. Discipline was never a problem, as a principal always had a large razor strap that would come out with very little justification. I remember arriving at school one day and climbing the stairs to my classroom along with several hundred other students, and at the top of the stairs stood the principal of the school and a man I've never seen before. He was pointing to that kid, and that kid, which somehow included me. The 4 or 5 of us that were selected or marched to the principal's office and were given the razor strap on each hand several times. We were later told that he was accusing us of cutting through his yard on our way to school. This was not possible for me because the school was on the same street I lived on. I expect the rest of the boys were falsely accused as well. The school organized after-hours hockey leagues, so almost every boy in the city was on a hockey team. I remember at the time the only way I could stay vertical on a pair of skates was if I had a hockey stick to lean on, but I was on a hockey team. It was just part of the culture back then. There was no such thing as the autism spectrum back then, so I am not sure if it was just not diagnosed or something has changed in our environment or diet that has some influence on this condition. Winters were always a lot of fun for us. The snow blizzards generated a lot of snow in southern Saskatchewan with large snowdrift that my sister and I liked to dig tunnels in. The city had dozens of playgrounds. No matter where you lived, you were always within a few blocks of one of these playgrounds. In the winter they would flood a large area to make a skating rink. They would then move in a heated shack. The shack would include a large cast iron potbelly stove, and they would always be attended by an old man who was in charge of keeping us kids in line, flooding the ice and looking after the stove. I can remember going even when it was 30 below. I would make 2 or 3 laps on the ice, then back into the shack to warm up again. Of course there was a girl I was interested in, which gave me the incentive to go there every night. I had less appreciation for the winter when I was driving a car. At the age of 16 or 17, my car was my life, and when it broke an axle I had no choice but to jack it up in the driveway and repair it. Changing an axle on a 1952 Chev when it is 20 below is not a trivial task, but I had no choice. Then there was the Christmas catalog. Every fall my sister and I looked forward to the arrival of the Eaton's or Simpsons Christmas catalog. We would spend hours going through that catalog, picking out our Christmas wish list. Then there was the ritual of going to the lot where they sold the Christmas trees, bringing it home and setting it up. I can still remember the smell today. There were no artificial trees back then. Santa would always arrive as predicted, and he would always drink the milk and cookies. The magic was gone when someone told me there was no Santa, it was just your mom and dad. I swore that my children would believe in Santa as long as possible. That problem came up years later when I had a young family and my youngest daughter came home from one of her friends announcing that their mom and dad had told her there was no Santa, it was just mom and dad. I said, "Oh my goodness, I sure hope you still believe in Santa, because he only comes to houses where the kids believe in him, and when the kids don't believe in him anymore, then mom and dad have to fill in." So you'll be sure to tell me when you don't believe in him anymore, because I'll have to go out and get you something for Christmas and I can't afford those really expensive things that Santa brings. That worked for her, and my kids tell me they still believe in Santa today.